So after having the opportunity of mentoring over hundreds of different traders, I've learned many things throughout this journey. In my last 2 years of running this mentorship program, in my first year, I learned that mentorship is necessary for one's success. It's like having your own personalized coach. And the reason for this is because no matter how well I do as a trader, I can do amazing, I can give great trades all day, great analysis, but there is always certain people that just drop the ball. And the reason for this is because everyone has different risk parameters, and account management is literally the number one thing you need to focus on. It doesn't matter how great you are in terms of reading premiums, your technical analysis ability, that doesn't matter. What matters is how good you are when it comes to managing your account and taking profits and focusing on consistency rather than trying to aim for those big winners. And that's why 90% of traders fail, and that's why it's important to have a coach by your side. That way you can see how to manage your account and get tips on how you can trade based on your existing lifestyle, because everyone has a different lifestyle. I trade for a living, I trade for as full time, and other traders may have a secondary job or they may do something else. So what we're going to do today is we're going to be talking about the trades I've taken here, and we're going to incorporate a little bit of details on what small accounts should do in these particular situations, what bigger accounts should do, and so forth. That way everyone has a clear understanding of what trades to look for, what size to look for, so that way you can do better on managing your account moving forward. So let's go straight into it. So today we started off our day by doing our predictions. Now, if you guys looked at my Twitter analysis, I pretty much provided a lot of context about what's happening in the entire market. So I started off by saying to everyone in the market on my feed here that it's likely to be a trend day as long as 5600 5610 holds, and we're likely to see not less chop once the jobless claim comes out, and we can move higher. Okay, so in my war room report, which I pretty much got off here, I pretty much confirmed that thesis as well. I mentioned that SPX has to get above 5640 in order to start moving. Okay, so sorry, 5650. That's where SPX needs to go to start going. I mentioned here that there will be continuous rug pulls in this 5640, 5650 area, and so it's very important that SPX get through this. This is very important here, okay? Because even though I mentioned that the market will see an uptrend, this rule has failed, okay? So it's very important to take that into consideration. We went to 5640. That was actually my first target that I gave right at the open, that SPX first target is going to be hitting 5640. Where was that? So it's somewhere down here. So I gave that first target 5640, and it literally hit that number. As you guys can see, my level 1 bullish area. My level 1 represents basically that it's a gatekeeping level. Okay, so for those that are not sure what each level means, they have a meaning towards it. Okay, so in the STX model here, level 1 as a gatekeeper identifies crucial bearish and bullish thresholds, usually the top, right, of the chop range. If you gap lower, you know, level 1 bullish is a great opportunity to usually short if you want to take a put, whatever the case is, if you believe that the market is not going to move higher. Once you get to level 2, that's when the trend has been confirmed. So we did not see level 2 hit, which is at 56.56, and for that reason, that's why we had a nasty dump. And you can see here, it looks like a head and shoulders on 30 minutes if you're looking for it from the last 2 days. Okay, so this here, huge inflection point. Just like my past videos, my level 1 bullish system really works, and I always manage to give that information. So going back to the war room here, you can see that information is all available right there. Put gamma shows SPX sees a lot of rug pull, right, between 56. So it will occur until you see 56.20, 56.25. That was true until the beginning, and once it got under that, that's when we started to see huge downside, right? I said market is bearish and can dump real fast if it gets under 5,600, and the lowest range we see is that day, okay? So I provide all that analysis, going over the news and all that stuff, the Apple news as well, and pretty much my inflection points, Garrett, it's right over here, timestamped, and we failed to hold that level 1, and that's when the market dumped. Okay, so that's pretty much it for what you see over here, our morning market setup. Now in my pre-market setup here, so this is where I talk about trades and analysis, right? I mentioned SPX, once it gets through 56.25, it can run real fast. So we talked about that. We talked about entry points on our calls, gave the SPY watch list. I talked about AFRM as being one of a great trade to take. And I said that you have to wait till 50 cents to get in. And that was literally the low of the day at the time. Perfect entry on that for members that taken it. And UPST 40 call can work between 40 to 50 cents. And it's best to wait for a pullback, okay? So amazing analysis over there, and let's go over the trades here, okay? So we had amazing trades, you know, non-stop greatness over here. The first trade that we took for today was this NVIDIA call here, okay? This was kind of a rush play, so I made this mistake on this one here. This one actually tanked, so that one didn't work. But overall, we had the AFRM calls that pretty much hit, so we talked about that at open. It actually did go to 50 cents, but we bought it in a little bit later. Those AFRM calls, they went over 100%. The sell is in the room, so I'll just post that for transparency so that all you guys can see here. Let me see right over here. Okay, so if we go into the trading chat right over there, blah blah blah, you can see we talked about it, and I sold it right over here for around 145%. I just forgot to put it over here. Now the next thing that we pretty much did is we got the SPX calls 1.93. They were also a winner here. For small accounts, this is my small account section here. So if you are a small account that is under 5 grand or 10 grand, these are the only trades you should be looking at, okay? Because these ones I focus on small account growth, and we gave this SPY 546 calls, which was literally went to 50 cents or more, right, when SPX started to go. So this was a nice double play for small accounts. Okay, now back to this here. We also placed an order to buy UPST at 70 cents when they got the fill an hour later, so we called this out. This was literally the best fill you could get at the time, and we banked another 64%. So 3 trades were great. They AFRM, UPST, SPX was great, and pretty much the NVIDIA was bad. I did take a super lotto with small size on the 5,500 put when the market started to dump, but I warned my team this is likely to go to 0. And then we just took a swing as well. Okay, so the thing about my style of trading is I like to always have nice intraday profits. That's what helps me, and I use my intraday profits to swing. When I do it that way, that's what leads to consistency. And I give my trade breakdown to my entire mentorship team so that they understand. Now, if this was a person that had, let's say, 5 or 10 grand account, taking the super lotto here, and I referenced it as a super lotto, meaning that it's most likely going to go to shit, but in case if the market tanks, it can go. And the reason why we use this 55.50 strike is because, if you can recall, I mentioned here that if the market breaks under 5,600, that level is very possible. Okay, so it was very possible that it could happen, especially if that 55.80 broke, which is in the negative gamma. So if we broke under this 55.70, it's all the way to level 2 bearish, and that could possibly happen here. This blue range that you see here is my neutral gamma, and literally this dump into close could have been a 50-point dump, but the market held it. So it's very possible we take those shots when we have profits. Okay, so we netted the day, you know, more than 2 grand because of those positive trades that we took on UPST, AFRM, and all that. But if you're a small account player, you know, it's better that you pretty much call it a day. I have a police bot in here that basically now focuses on stopping people from over trading. It's all about consistency when it comes to trading, and that's what matters the most. Now, besides all that, let's talk about the stocks here, okay? So pretty much another thing that's going to help traders as well is that if you're a small account, I provide this information to all my members where the chop ranges are and where the neutral range. So we call this a chop range. This information on my weekly point of view is given to members before the week even starts. Okay, so if we go over here, this is my stock market analysis here. You can see that. You can see my chop range is given right here. Sorry, this is a wrong week. You can see my chop range is 5600, 5640. This is time stamped on the 25th of August, right over there. I gave that chop range right over there, and we had a lot of news. So you can see that pretty much the same graph aligns with what you see over here. Okay, so whenever you're trading in the chop range, you can see here, like exactly the week started on the 26th. So this is where the week started, and from this point on, it's been pure chop, just trading in this range, and that's pretty much where you need to, take it easy. Okay, when you're trading the chop range, if you're a small account, do not overtrade, do not swing plays. That's pretty much a key thing you want to remember if you are in my mentorship program. When SPX starts to break out through these ranges here, bullish breakout, there's room to explode. That's when you push the gas. This is where you pull the brakes, and this is where you push the gas. Okay, so that's what's always important to remember, because that's the behavior that the market will have. For my SPY players, same situation we got over here. This analysis was given right at the beginning and pretty much shared the same level of detail explaining that. Okay, right over where to go. Okay, I can't find it, but anyways, somewhere in here. So all this information is always given, and that's what we use to do when it comes to trading. Okay, you can see here QQQ chop range. It keeps bouncing off my estimated weekly low. It may chop down here too, but it can definitely break down moving forward. So that's just analysis there. Now, another thing that I want to talk about in terms of account management is, let's talk about the option premiums. So this is my option premium details. You guys can see pretty much we have our weekly premiums there. We're just going to ignore that. That's not doesn't matter, but we are looking at these premiums on our watch list. Okay, my target was always the 5640 because that's my level 1 bullish premium that I was constantly analyzing. I spoke about it on Twitter that once this gets above, if it gets below, $3 to $4, that's when the market could see a reversal. So we were analyzing that in great depth. Now we did trade the 56. Which ones do we have? We had the 5650 calls, I believe, from what I remember. Yeah, we had the 5650 calls. Okay. As a small account player, you want to avoid this, and you want to pretty much find a SPY equivalent if you do decide to take it, because if you don't, then it's not going to be a play that's going to be working for you. You pretty much want to find the solid opportunities. It's always a good idea to have the highs and the lows premiums here, so that way you don't force the high of the day trade. If you're a small account, you never want to pay the high of the day play, right? So you want to find a solid basing opportunity. Like if you're a scalper, like you can see right over here that 1.78 is where it tends to bounce or get below. This is another one. So the premiums literally works in steps, as you guys can see from different points and angle here. So overall, as a trader, there's many different ways on how you can manage your account. The best way I think small accounts can become successful is they take continual profits, they avoid swing trades, and you guys are basically taking 10% of whatever your account balance is, but not going anything beyond 500. If you have a 5K account, do not do $500 trades. You need to only do between 1 to 200 because there's tons of those opportunities available. If you can do this consistently 5-6 times, you build profits to take shots when opportunities presents itself. If you are in my mentorship program, those opportunities exist when you are in my bullish breakout or bearish breakdown. So that's what helps you with your account management, knowing when to push the gas or pull the brakes. If you are trading in the chop range, you constantly take your profits and you avoid swinging as much as possible for small accounts. For larger accounts, you pretty much make your profits and then throw whatever you want to risk. At the end of the day, always staying green is key, and that's what I focus on. So thanks for tuning in, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video update on the market analysis. We're crushing it continuously, and we want to make sure you crush it as well. Check out my mentorship program to see how this coaching can help you become very successful, because it's always 50% off on the first payment as long as you do the promo code SDX50, and you'll see the difference there. We also provide courses so that way you get the additional education to help you understand how to evaluate premiums and look for the nice setups and so forth. So I hope you guys future success in your trading journey. Check us out. We hope to help you, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And like always, let's get that money.